Hey, this is Kellen from the AMC Group, here to talk to you about 5 ways to avoid conflict with your head pastor. Today we're going to discuss 5 ways of preemptively avoiding conflict with your head pastor. The first one is keeping them in the loop. Let your pastor know about upcoming events, things that are working, things that are not, new things that you're trying, so that when they're approached by a parent or a congregation member and asked about it, they don't feel stupid. That's just an easy way to make sure that there's no animosity between you, or they feel like they're a part of the process. They should know what's going on, when it's going on, and how it's going on, so that when they're approached by someone and asked about it, they don't feel stupid. And that's one of the easiest ways of keeping your pastor happy and your relationship not strained. My second piece of advice is tell your pastor before they find out elsewhere. Talk to your pastor when your numbers are down, when you're having a problem with a parent or a deacon or elder, when another staff member and you are having issues, when you break something. Whatever the problem might be, make sure they hear it from you. That's just common courtesy, and it's going to go a long way to easing the tension of the situation. My third piece of advice is collaborate. When you're sitting around the staff room table, make sure that your events and the events of the wider church are not in conflict. Ask your pastor's advice, make sure that they know what you're doing, how you're doing it, and find out how they do it. This is a great way of bringing your pastor into the process and avoiding any sort of conflict or competition. My next piece of advice is to know their priorities. Your priorities have to do with your ministry and your youth. But you have to remember that your pastor's priorities involve the building, the budget, the congregation members, the staff members. There's a wider mission that they're worrying about. Make sure that you're working in the same direction as them, that you're not causing tension. My final piece of advice is to remember that you're working for a wider church. You don't operate in a vacuum. You're connected to a church and a congregation. Make sure everything you do is working toward the betterment of the entire congregation, not just your youth. If you do this, it shows that you're not working against the church or even in parallel to the church, but you're working with the church. And this is a really important thing for your pastor to see. If you do this, it's going to foster a relationship of connection and collaboration versus any sort of animosity. Hopefully these suggestions will help prevent any conflict before they begin, and so that you and your pastor can work together toward a healthy youth ministry and a healthy wider church. This is Kellen from AMC saying good luck.